Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of October. Great to see everybody. I hope that this month is getting off to a good start for you. A quick note that you can always use these videos for your sun, rising, and moon sign. If you don't happen to know the difference between them, just stick with the month that you were born in and that will be enough. I want to announce something at the beginning here before we get into the reading. A little bit of a thank you as well. We're getting very close to a milestone here on the channel. I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers. And that's something that I didn't even know was possible when I started this. So I really do appreciate the support that you guys have given me. I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much. And as a way of giving back and saying thank you as well, I'm going to do a live feed or live presentation shortly after I do that, maybe the same week or a week after. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, consider doing that now so you know when I go live. I don't do that a lot. So I'll try to make it a decent amount of time too, maybe 20 or 30 minutes I'll be live. And also, for those of you that have inquired if you would like to support the channel, you can do so through either Patreon or my website. I'll put some information right here at the bottom. And if you look below the video, you'll see 3 links. It's the second link there. Know that all of that goes directly into production costs and making videos like this possible. I really owe a debt of gratitude to you guys, so thank you so much. Let's now get into the reading. I like to start off with channeled information. As you know, if you come month to month, the way that I achieve this is by selecting a deck of cards that I'm going to use for your sign, closing my eyes, meditating, and seeing what comes through. When I focused on your sign, usually I get a lot of information, but I actually just got this vision of a portal. And I also got the word possibilities, and this kind of reminded me back in the day when I used to just write down a couple of words or a word. And so for you this month, when I think of the word portal, for me this is a transition from one place or from one way of being into another. And so I think that this is a very transformative month for you. And there's going to be an opportunity for you. If I were to kind of pick a couple of cards that I would associate with the imagery that I'm getting, the first would be like death and rebirth. The second one would be the Two of Wands because it's about what is next. And really, that's something that I've been seeing as a trend with a few signs. So think about if you're not yet at that point of change, kind of take stock now before the end of the year. So often we wait until January to do New Year's resolutions and whatnot. I think this is the perfect time to start to figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish in the next year. And you may be surprised once you've settled on that. I think that a portal or an opportunity can open up so that that can happen faster. Let's go ahead now, shuffle the cards and see what's coming through for you over the course of October. At this point, I like to remain quiet and just take a look at the cards, their locations, and the information that comes through. When this is done, I will rejoin you and we'll see what's happening. In addition to the Celtic Cross, I use another card that I call the Catalyst. The Catalyst helps me see connections between everything. Let's see what your message is this month. So we have the clouds. What this is really emphasizing is that a lot of the change that's happening this month is in a cognitive sense. Yes, there may be some physical changes going around you, but it's more of what's going on up here. So whenever I see air, whether it's swords or in this case the sky or clouds, I see the ability for your thoughts to change, for new ideas to form, for things to fall apart sometimes. So this is going to be a month where the way you perceive the world is going to change, and that's where part of that portal is. Speaking of portals, we did get a death card here in the past. We also have a judgment card, so definitely some shifts, and I think that's what I was picking up on. Let's go card by card and we'll break it down. The center card is at the very beginning of the month reminding you to sort of pull the brakes a little bit, to slow things down. We have the Five of Wands in reverse, showing that some of you may be working so hard that you're having a hard time maybe just taking care of yourself or paying attention to what's going on, or maybe you're just feeling burned out. Whatever it is, there's not a lot of satisfaction for some of you in the area of work. So this is a suggestion to work a little less, to take care of yourself a little bit more. And as I was alluding to earlier, because there's this opportunity for the future, for planning for the future, we have the Two of Wands here. So basically this is telling you to slow down, take stock, figure out, am I happy? What am I trying to do again? Where am I headed? And the sooner that you know this, the sooner that the universe can kind of line up all of the dominoes and help you get in the overall direction that you want to be, or help open up that portal or that opportunity. You have to know what you want before things can be presented to you. Because with the Five of Wands in reverse, what might be happening for some of you is just maybe like busy and bored, or busy and distracted, and that's not really sending clear messages out to the powers that be that, hey, I'm working on this, help me open up something to make it happen. So take your time, think about what you want, put some plans in place, and then see if things don't start to open up for you. In your deep past, we have death reversed. To me, this reads as stagnation. And what it's doing is encouraging you to let go of something. Oftentimes we are in situations not because we want to be, just because we sort of were handed something, or inherited something, or maybe our parents or someone in our family just thought, hey, you should do this, or this should be a part of your life, and we just took it on. So this month you have a chance to reevaluate some sort of inherited or ancestral or acquired situation in your life. It could be your job, your degree that you're studying, it could be the spouse that you're with, it could be the lifestyle that you've chosen. Maybe you decided to do a certain type of work, or whatever it is. There's something that has been sort of put into play that wasn't always maybe your plan, but you just decided to go with it. So this is your month to break the mold if you want to. You can do that at any point in your life, but the energy this month is really transformative. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you've outgrown something, if you feel like you just don't even understand why something has happened, don't beat yourself up. Celebrate the fact that you're now aware and you're awake. And when we look at recent past and what's going to affect you coming into this month, we have judgment or karma. It's interesting that it's called karma in this deck because it's really encouraging you to take a look at some of those karmic decisions that might have brought you to this decision, or to this point in time, I should say, or some of the karmic factors, your friends, your families, your ancestors, that maybe put this situation in your lap again. In your crowning position, we have the Six of Wands. It's actually a quite favorable card for that position. What it's showing is whatever you decide to do, whatever you're going to really bring to the world moving forward, there's a lot of support. People, generally speaking, want you to be happy, but you have to decide on that. And sometimes with the Six of Wands in this position, it can come through for someone who tries to please people in their life, maybe too much, or is thinking too empathically about others. And it is possible to be too much in someone else's energy, sometimes at the detriment of what's best for you. So this month, you're getting sort of like permission and encouragement to think about what you need for your own path, honoring that you've already fulfilled, many of you, something that someone else expected. And it's a chance now to think, who am I? What do I want? And how can I make this happen? There's a lot of what ifs, and that's really what the clouds are encouraging you to do, is to dream a little bit. It's kind of like that game you would play as a kid where you tried to pick shapes in the clouds. You're allowing your mind to drift, you're allowing yourself to, your heart also to kind of open up a little bit and think, what do I really desire? What do I want? For some of you, there are some admitted constraints. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So there may be financial limitations, there might be other resource limitations. It could be your time, your energy. You just don't have what you need right now to make something happen. So if that's the case, then you're gonna have to decide to maybe sacrifice something, change something, announce something. Because to me, the clouds card is also kind of like an angel coming from high and announcing it. So that's usually what you would see in a judgment card, is Archangel Gabriel decreeing something, saying something to people. So there might be a hard choice, a trade-off that you have to make in order to embrace your truth, live your truth, and that's something you'll have to think about. The other aspect of the Five of Pentacles, although it's not really illustrated in this particular card, is a connection between children and their parents. Sometimes there's a dissolved relationship or an estrangement. Sometimes there is a hurt or some sort of a feeling from the past of not being recognized or fully validated. So whether you're the parent or the child or your sibling and you feel this about maybe one of your brothers or sisters, there's something in the family that could use some healing, and you want to take a look at that before moving forward. This is going to open up more abundance for you with respect to money, future relationships, and just your own self-worth. As we look at your ego this month, I want you to be really open to new and unique ways for your life to sort of grow. We have the Four of Cups, which sometimes is a very granularly focused card. You're only paying attention to what's in front of you. But as we see in this illustration, usually the cup is floating in the air, but here it's just off to the side. There is sometimes a missed opportunity or something on the periphery that you miss because you're thinking this is all that I have or this is the only way that it can go. So I want you to really work at redefining possibilities and also doing more active listening. People might be trying to drop a hint. Sometimes the Four of Cups can indicate love, somebody that is interested in you and you're not paying attention to the fact that they're hinting, hey, I'm here. Likewise, it might be someone that's asking for help. And again, you're tuned out. So it has to do with relationships usually. It can also have to do with something that you're passionate about in your life. But the overall message is open your ears, open your eyes, look around, be more present. And in doing so, either a great opportunity will open up or something that you need to pay more attention to. Either way, it's important and it's worth your time and energy. As we look at your environment card, really almost a repeat of what I'm seeing in the catalyst. Both of them are reversed, but that's okay. This is about daydreaming, about exploring options. This was about expanding your mind, thinking about new things, but also eventually coming to a decision. The reason that this is reversed is it's another nudge from the universe that you don't want to overthink things. You want to feel stuff with your heart. Allow your mind to kind of take you around a little bit, but the heart is kind of like the ancient Egyptians. It's the seat of knowledge. Not because you think, your brain's up here, but the intuition and the knowing does exist within the heart space because our heart is kind of like a compass. If we feel it, we know it's right. If we don't, something's wrong and it doesn't make sense even if we're trying to kind of convince ourselves. So I want you to feel and know here, and then you can evaluate here later and overthink it if you need to. But this is going to help you get out of your head. When we're looking at fears, frustrations, opportunities, many of you are getting also nudged this month to finally announce whatever it is, your decision, come to a decision. And don't tiptoe around it. The King of Swords in reverse is a very direct, unapologetic sort of way of communicating. It's not always something that you want to go to, but sometimes it's very effective. If you ever want to tell someone something that is important, an announcement about your life, a coming out, if you will, you always want to announce that in an affirmative, not in a sort of question or what do you think. You don't want to give away power. So if it's an announcement as simple as we need to break up, or I want to quit, or I want to announce that I'm starting this venture, or for some of you, like a literal coming out, saying who you love and who you want to be with, you just want to say, I am this, or I want this, or this is the fact, rather than, do you like this? Is this okay? What do you think? So that's why the directness is coming in. Think through it, come to a decision, feel and sit with that decision for a little bit, then state it and say it from the heart. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you ever listen to a really good actor that's been in tons and tons of movies, and then maybe, because I'm here in LA, I'll hear people running lines on the street sometimes. And you can tell the difference between someone that's emoting from their heart, their gut, their soul, and someone who's just reading lines and isn't present. So when you deliver the message, I don't want you to be like the person that I hear at the laundromat that isn't quite there, is kind of on their phone doing this and trying to learn the lines, but they're not really saying it like Meryl Streep would say it, for instance. So I want you to kind of really embody your message. And then when you deliver it, people have no choice but to respect it, to honor it, and to understand exactly where you're coming from. Even if they don't hear every word, they hear the frequency, they see the emotion, they get that download. And that's the difference between people that are present and really good communicators and people that pull back a little bit and aren't talking as loud and aren't really emoting. So emote and be there and really communicate with your mind, body, and your heart especially. Your outcome card is the Nine of Cups. It's reversed, but I'm gonna kind of go over both aspects of this. In the upright position, it's actually quite positive. It's showing cause for celebration, that things are kind of moving towards a positive. When it's reversed, it's showing that there might be a tendency to sometimes get discouraged because one thing doesn't go your way, or because you're worried about how people might be perceiving something. So I want you to not get in your head again so much. Just trust that you've done what you need to do, let things go, and then try to find sort of an even temperament when it comes to how you're feeling about the future. Be optimistic, let other people read off of your emotions, and if you're happy, they'll be happy. If you're sad, they're going to wonder what's going on. So try to find that happy medium and know that you'll get the support that you want if you follow through with that. Let's expand your forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and then we'll review everything that we just talked about. We'll start off with your health card. Health includes mind, body, and spirit. Your message for health this month is acceptance. And acceptance can kind of come in a few flavors here. The first is just accepting who you are, where you're at, and being happy with yourself. Too many times in today's society, we're focusing on images and sort of like ideals that are unreasonable. So this is really speaking to self-love. And of course, this is going to help you not just only in your mind, but also in how you carry yourself, how other people perceive you. See the beauty that is within, accept that there's always room for improvement in our life, and you can use that as a motivator. But the first thing you have to do is accept that there's something worth loving and celebrating there. Let's look at your wealth card and see what's coming through in that perspective. One more thing, because we are looking at what looks like a high sugar meal here. For some of you, it's accepting the fact that there might be some limits to what is acceptable in your diet. So if there's a family history of diabetes or of heart disease or whatever, embracing those facts and trying to do the best that you can with it. So one more piece that I got as I was going to the next card. So we looked at health, let's look at wealth. Wealth isn't just money, it's self-confidence, it's how you approach opportunities, and it's also what those opportunities might be. So we have a manifestation card, the Magician and the Mirror. I like this because there's two things that you need to focus on. One is, what do you see? That's the mirror. And the Magician card, what are you projecting to others? So it's really showing you that anything is possible this month. You have to believe in yourself though, and you have to project that feeling to others. And that's something that I've been touching upon a few times today, and hopefully that's making sense. But overall, the Magician is good. I will say when it comes to your money and when it comes to your business and work, try not to overextend yourself. I see that a lot with the Magician. They can handle, it's like a jack of all trades, but sometimes you can get distracted. Remember to show people and remind them what you're doing. That's the mirror portion of this. And if you do that, I think that you'll be able to push back effectively, and you'll do a better job at focusing on whatever's in front of you. Let's go ahead and take a look at love now. Love includes not just romantic relationships, but also all intimate relationships, friendships, etc. It's really about how to attach to that unconditional love in your life. And so what we have here is Gates of Triumph. It says success expands in your life. And what I see here when we're looking at love is a lot of people are behind you. They want you to be happy. And this is less about meeting someone this month. It's more about people being there for you and supporting your truth, supporting whatever it is that you want. So I mentioned coming out. So talk about what it is that you love and what you want in your life. It's not necessarily just who you want to date, but it can also be about who you are, basically, showing your true self and removing the veneer. Once you do that, people are there for you, and also success follows, because this is really where your passion is this month. It's about attaching to your overall purpose and doing better, and then the support comes from the people around you then. Let's go ahead and take a look at your Destiny card. Destiny is sort of a GPS that allows you to take a look at where you're headed. And if you like that, then perfect. If not, it allows you to course correct. We have Light Activation as your Destiny card. And the small text on this says, shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So everything that we've been talking about this month, this portal opportunity, this thinking of who you want to be, how you want to project it, it's allowing you to be in a more sort of clear and bright form. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more at the end, but it's kind of like this crystal that has been clarified, purified over years and years of pressure and heat, and in the end it can hold more light. This is kind of what we're doing in our life too. We're going through this purification process so that ultimately we're going to get closer to who we are. You have a very spiritual journey in your spread this month. If you're looking for tangible information, there's some here, but it's actually much more of an opportunity of growth and ascension. I'm going to review everything that we talked about, and I'll try to pull it together into a concise package, but that's what I'm sensing already. As I said when I looked at your channeled information, I just got this feeling of vastness, almost like I was looking out into space, a portal, a window, and it was all about possibilities. That was echoed when we saw your catalyst card here, which was the clouds. There's a dual meaning in this, which is both expansion and then also an announcement, a decision that needs to be made, something that we saw later when we looked at judgment or karma. As we look at all of the cards in their positions here, the center was a reminder to slow down, to just basically pay attention to what's going on around you, particularly because there might be people or situations that are kind of hinting and trying to get your attention, and you might be missing out on love, missing out on job opportunities, on life experiences, etc. What you want to start to do is plan and sort of plant the seeds so that the universe can react to whatever it is that your heart and your soul desires. As I was saying at the beginning, many of you have sort of ended a period of stagnancy, or you're aware of it now, and now there's a decision at hand that you need to make. What do you want? Are you happy? Is this something that you want to continue to do? Even if you feel like you're doing well in your job, this is still showing an ability to grow and maybe change things up a little bit. Your crowning card is the Six of Wands. Six of Wands reminding you that you have the support that you need, something that we saw here in your love area, but also that you don't want to kind of live in the shadows of everyone else or live for their happiness. You need to live for your happiness. We talked a little bit here about some of the resource issues or constraints that some of you might have. I think this really has to do more with what I also talked about, which was connections with family, particularly with parents and children. So figure out which side of the fence you're on, see if there's any healing that you can do, and at the very least sort of nurture yourself. This can be your own inner child that just needs to be loved, and remind yourself that you're exactly who you're supposed to be, and all you have to do is embrace your true self. And we saw this here with acceptance. We'll get to that in a second. I already explained the Four of Cups. Pay attention. There's some hidden opportunities that might be right around the corner for you. It's good for you to spend some time thinking about what you want, not too much time. And this card is encouraging you by mid-month to try to make a decision. We talked about being direct, stating what it is that you want, who you are, in an affirmative statement so that other people can get behind that. The Nine of Cups is overwhelmingly a good card, but the reversal shows sometimes a tendency to let one small thing take you off path. Remember, you're doing great, and you don't need to sort of allow yourself to get pulled down into the trenches sometimes, and also to avoid other people's drama. Or extremes for that matter, and that's really what the Nine of Cups is also saying. Especially as I'm looking at this health card, it could be extremes with diet, with how you're treating yourself. Try to be much more moderate across the board with respect to that. The bigger message here, though, is self-acceptance, not just accepting what limitations you might have from a genetic perspective when it comes to some predisposition for disease, etc. It's more about accept who you are, love who you are, allow others to do the same. They can't love you if you don't love yourself. When we look at wealth, who you are and what you focus on here is going to be really important this month. But also how you project yourself, because other people are going to read off your reflection or your projection. Don't commit to too much. As we said, it's better to take on just a few things and do them very well than to kind of spread yourself too thin. With love, people are here, they want to support you, but they need to know who you are. So don't be afraid to step into your truth this month. Finally, the whole purpose this month, and I would say in life in general, is to get to that higher state, that light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So listen to yourself. And once you do that, you'll find something unique, which is that other people want to listen to you or may come to you for advice, because when that inner light is shining brightly, people are attracted to it. They want to find the same thing in their life. So work on that and great things can happen. That really is everything for this month, but if there's ever something unique that you need to talk about, a challenge, a concern, feel free to reach out to me. If you look below the video, as I said, there are 3 links. The first link will allow you to check rates and availability, and if it makes sense, I'm here for you and I'm happy to meet with you. The second link is a way to give back to the channel. I mentioned at the beginning that you can do that through Patreon or donate through my website. Either is appreciated. It goes directly into supplies and also allocating time to do these videos. If you'd like to just connect with me on social media, check out the third link. You can see how to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also how to subscribe to my newsletter. As I said, if you haven't already subscribed here, please do that, because I will be launching that live feed in the hopefully in the next month or so. We'll see whenever that happens. Finally, I like to wrap up every video with a little bit of encouragement for you and also kind of a big picture for why we're showing up. And I teased that a little bit earlier, but first I want to just say thank you so much for continuing to work on yourself. This card sums it up. You're really working to ascend, to go to a higher level. And as an expansion of that, like this crystal, the more we work on ourselves, the more facets we get to understand, the more light we can hold and we can reflect. That's why I show up every month. I hope that's why you're doing it as well. Ultimately, you'll be able to do that for others, and that's my purpose here as well. I want to really help everyone see that they have an internal light, an internal gift to connect with their intuition, and hopefully to share that with other people. So I wish you much love, much light now and always. Don't be afraid of the opportunities that await you. Don't be afraid to be your true self. Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.